Welcome back USA Coins 69, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today, we're going to take an in-depth journey into the fascinating world of American coinage, focusing on a humble yet historically rich piece that's been in circulation for decades, the United States 1-cent Lincoln wheat penny from 1941, complete with its mint mark. What seems like a simple penny is actually a key to unlocking stories from America's past and, potentially, a significant treasure for collectors. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series began way back in 1909, commemorating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first time a U.S. president's image appeared on a circulating coin, and the design marked a major shift in American numismatics. The obverse of the coin features the iconic profile of Lincoln himself, engraved by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse proudly displays the two stalks of wheat, symbolizing prosperity and the agricultural heritage of the nation. By 1941, this beloved coin had been minted for over 3 decades, carrying with it a weight of American history. But 1941 was also a pivotal year for the country. The United States was on the brink of entering World War II, and the nation was buzzing with both anxiety and hope. Every penny minted that year serves as a small but powerful reminder of those turbulent times. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The 1941 Lincoln Wheat Penny was produced at 3 different mints: the Philadelphia Mint, with no mint mark, the Denver Mint, marked with a D, and the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S. Each mint produced millions of these pennies, making them common in circulation. However, rarity and value in coin collecting often depend on more than just production numbers. Factors like mint mark, condition, and unique variations can dramatically affect a coin's worth. The 1941 D and S mint marks are particularly significant. While the Philadelphia coins were minted in higher quantities and are generally less rare, the Denver and San Francisco issues, especially those preserved in excellent condition, are highly sought after. This is because fewer coins from these mints have survived the wear and tear of everyday transactions, and even fewer remain in pristine condition. But what really sets certain 1941 Lincoln Wheat pennies apart is the discovery of subtle minting errors and unique features. For example, some coins from this year exhibit doubling, where letters or numbers appear doubled due to a slight shift in the die during striking. These doubling errors are prized by collectors because they represent a minting anomaly that cannot be replicated and tell a story about the production process. Additionally, certain 1941 pennies show variations in the wheat stalks or the shape of the date, which can also add to their rarity and appeal. These minor discrepancies become like secret signatures from the past, turning a common penny into a collector's dream. Now, let's talk condition because, as with all coins, it's crucial in determining value. While many 1941 pennies have spent decades in pockets and cash registers, some have been preserved with incredible care, kept safe in collections, albums, or even forgotten in jars untouched by time. These uncirculated pennies boast sharp details, bright luster, and free of scratches or wear, making them exceptionally valuable. For collectors, finding a 1941 Lincoln Wheat penny with a Denver or San Francisco mint mark in mint state condition is like discovering a rare gem. The market demand for these coins has only grown over the years as numismatists and history enthusiasts alike chase after these tangible pieces of America's past. The coin's historical significance combined with its rarity and condition makes it a fantastic investment and a beautiful keepsake. Its appeal transcends just monetary value. It's about owning a slice of history, a tangible connection to the era of Abraham Lincoln and a world on the verge of monumental change. And here's the thrilling part: the value. If you have a 1941 Lincoln Wheat penny with a mint mark, especially one from Denver or San Francisco, preserved in near-perfect condition, this coin could be worth an incredible $88,000, yes, $88,000 for a single penny that once jingled in the pockets of Americans over 80 years ago. Next time you come across a Lincoln Wheat penny from 1941 with that tiny mint mark, don't just glance past it. Take a closer look. You might be holding a small coin with an immense story and an even greater worth. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic pieces of American numismatics, the United States 1-cent Lincoln Wheat penny from 1942, complete with its mint mark. At first glance, it may look like a simple copper penny, but there's a rich history, fascinating details, and surprising value wrapped up in this small, everyday coin. the Lincoln Wheat Penny series has captivated collectors and history enthusiasts since its debut in 1909. Created to honor Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth, this coin was the first U.S. circulating coin to feature a real person, breaking the tradition of allegorical figures. The obverse side of the coin showcases the classic profile of Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse proudly displays the wheat stalks, symbols of prosperity and the nation's agricultural roots. The year 1942 was a time of great significance in the United States. America was thrust into World War II following the events at Pearl Harbor in late 1941, and the country was mobilizing like never before. The penny minted in this year isn't just a coin, it's a witness to history, a small relic of an era marked by sacrifice, resilience, and unity. Now, let's talk about mint marks because they hold the key to understanding the rarity and value of this coin. In 1942, pennies were minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, which used no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. Each mint produced millions of pennies, but differences in mintages and survival rates have made the coins from Denver and San Francisco particularly interesting to collectors. What makes the 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a mint mark stand out? Beyond its historical importance, certain coins from this year have been found with unique characteristics and minting errors that significantly increase their appeal. Some feature doubling errors where the lettering or the date seems to be stamped twice, a result of a die shift during the minting process. Others show variations in the wheat stalk design or unusual metal compositions. These subtle anomalies are not mere mistakes, they are numismatic treasures. Coins with these features are highly sought after by collectors because they are rare, telling a story of the mint's complex and fascinating manufacturing process during a time of global upheaval. Condition is everything when it comes to value. The majority of these pennies have been in circulation for over 70 years, worn down by hands, pockets, and time. But some 1942 pennies have been carefully preserved, maintaining their original luster, sharp details, and clean surfaces. Such pristine coins are prized immensely. Collectors know that a 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a mint mark, preserved in near mint or mint condition, can fetch a hefty price on the market. These coins are not only investments, they're connections to a past era when every penny counted, both literally and figuratively. So what's the real value? What could a 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a mint mark be worth if it checks all the boxes: rarity, condition, and those special features collectors love? The answer is staggering. A coin like this, in exceptional condition and with the coveted mint mark, could be worth $83,000. Yes, $83,000 for a single penny. It's a reminder that sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest stories and the biggest surprises. If you've ever come across a 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a mint mark, now's the time to take a closer look. You might just be holding a hidden treasure. Today, we're focusing on a true classic, the United States 1-cent Lincoln Wheat Penny from 1944, featuring its mint mark. While it might look like just another penny, this small piece of copper holds a wealth of history, rarity, and, believe it or not, serious value. So buckle up and get ready for an immersive journey into one of the most captivating coins from the mid-20th century. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series itself is one of the longest-running and most beloved coin series in the United States, introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Featuring Victor David Brenner's famous portrait of Lincoln on the front and the symbolic wheat ears on the reverse, the coin quickly became a staple of American currency and culture. Now, the year 1944 was no ordinary year for the United States or for this penny. The country was deep in the throes of World War II, with soldiers overseas and citizens on the home front contributing to the war effort. In fact, this year marked a very unusual chapter for the Lincoln Wheat Penny because of the material used in its production. Unlike previous years, many 1944 pennies were minted from recycled wartime materials. But more on that in a moment. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny was produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, which, at that time, did not use a mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. Each mint had different production quantities, and that variation plays a big role in the rarity and value of these coins today. So what makes the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny so special? especially when you consider its mint mark. During World War II, copper was in high demand for the war effort, used for making ammunition, shell casings, and other essential military supplies. As a result, the U.S. Mint made an extraordinary change. Instead of using the usual copper alloy for pennies, they switched to zinc-coated steel in 1943 to save copper for the war. But in 1944, copper shortages persisted, and pennies were minted using recycled shell casings from the war, giving many 1944 pennies a unique composition and history. This makes 1944 pennies, especially those with Denver and San Francisco mint marks, incredibly interesting and collectible. The use of war materials isn't just symbolic, it physically ties the coin to an important part of American history, making it much more than a mere piece of currency. But the story doesn't end there. There are fascinating variations and errors that appear among these 1944 pennies that dramatically increase their collector appeal. For instance, some 1944 Lincoln wheat pennies contain unexpected amounts of steel or variations in the copper alloy, often identified by subtle changes in color and weight. Others showcase minting errors like double dies, where details on the coin appear duplicated due to die misalignment, a feature prized by collectors worldwide. Moreover, the mint mark itself can play a huge role in a coin's rarity and value. Coins from the San Francisco Mint with an S mint mark are rarer in high grade because many were part of proof sets rather than mass circulation. Meanwhile, Denver's D mint mark coins are often sought after for their unique qualities and relative scarcity in pristine condition. Speaking of condition, this is where the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny really becomes a serious collector's item. Over the decades, millions of these coins circulated heavily, collecting scratches, dents, and the dulling effects of wear and tear. However, a small percentage survived in near mint or mint state, preserved by collectors and hidden away from the elements. For numismatists, a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with a mint mark in near-perfect condition is a true gem. The coin's original luster, sharp strike details, and flawless surfaces all contribute to its premium status. Collectors covet these coins not only for their monetary value but also as physical connections to a monumental period in history. Now, let's talk numbers. What does a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with a mint mark, preserved in impeccable condition, actually fetch on the market today? The answer might surprise you. Depending on rarity, condition, and any unique features or errors, these coins can command astonishing prices. In fact, a well-preserved 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with its mint mark intact and showcasing those rare attributes can be valued at up to $89,000. Yes, $89,000 for a single penny that once jangled through the pockets and cash registers of Americans during one of the most intense periods of the 20th century. That's the incredible power of numismatics, transforming something as small and ordinary as a penny into a priceless artifact steeped in history, rarity, and value. If you happen to stumble across a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with a mint mark, don't take it for granted. Give it the attention it deserves. You might just be holding a piece of history that's worth far more than you imagined. Today, we're diving into the intriguing story and value of a true American classic, the United States 1-cent Lincoln wheat penny from 1945, featuring its mint mark. At first glance, this might just seem like an ordinary penny, but when you peel back the layers, you'll discover it's a coin rich with history, mystery, and remarkable collector appeal. The Lincoln wheat penny, introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's centennial birthday, revolutionized American coinage by putting a real person's profile on a circulating coin for the first time. This coin became an instant classic, designed by Victor David Brenner, and for decades, the wheat ears on the reverse symbolized the nation's agricultural prosperity and hard-working spirit. Now, 1945 was a particularly momentous year in American history. It marked the final chapter of World War II, a period that defined a generation and reshaped the world order. Every coin minted that year carries the weight of those historic moments, symbolizing both the sacrifices made and the hope for a peaceful future. And this penny is no exception. The 1945 Lincoln wheat penny was minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, which didn't use a mint mark; Denver, which carries a D mint mark; and San Francisco, marked with an S. Each mint produced a different number of coins, and that variation plays a critical role in the rarity and value of each penny today. what makes the 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny stand out for collectors, especially those with the Denver or San Francisco mint marks? First, it's the context of the times. The United States was still deeply engaged in World War II for most of 1945, and the economy and minting materials reflected the wartime pressures. Although the penny's composition returned to the traditional copper alloy after the 1943 steel penny experiment, supply chain challenges and metal rationing still impacted coin production. Interestingly, some 1945 pennies show subtle differences in composition and coloration due to these constraints. Additionally, the minting process itself occasionally produced unique errors and variations, such as double dies, which created a ghost-like doubling effect on dates or letters, making these coins extremely valuable to error coin collectors. The D and S mint marks particularly pique the interest of collectors because their numbers are smaller compared to Philadelphia's production, making them scarcer in excellent condition. Over the decades, many of these pennies saw heavy circulation, enduring countless transactions and natural wear. However, a small portion survived in pristine, near-mint condition, often because they were tucked away in collections or forgotten in coin rolls. Condition is king in coin collecting, and the 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny is no exception. The difference between a worn penny and one that retains its original luster can mean tens of thousands of dollars in value. Coins in mint state condition, sharp details, bright surfaces, and free from scratches, are incredibly rare and highly sought after. Collectors also look for pennies that might have minting errors or unusual features from the 1945 mints, such as variations in the wheat stalk details or the shape of the date and letters. These tiny anomalies make the coin unique and increase its desirability. Now, let's talk about the financial side of things. What does a 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny with a mint mark fetch in today's market, especially if it's in exceptional condition? Here's where it gets truly exciting. A well-preserved 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny with a Denver or San Francisco mint mark can command prices soaring up to $80,000, yes, $80,000 for a single penny. An astonishing figure for something so small but so full of history and rarity. It's a testament to the incredible world of coin collecting, where the smallest objects can hold extraordinary stories and immense value. So next time you come across a 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny, especially with that tiny mint mark, take a moment to examine it carefully. You might just be holding a valuable piece of America's past worth far more than you think. Today, we're exploring a fascinating chapter in American numismatics, the United States 1-cent Lincoln Wheat penny from 1946, complete with its mint mark. While it might appear as just a simple penny, this small copper coin carries with it a rich legacy, significant historical context, and a surprisingly impressive value. So, sit back and get ready to dive deep into the story behind one of America's most iconic coins. The Lincoln Wheat penny series has been beloved by collectors and the general public since its introduction in 1909. It was the first circulating coin to feature a real person, Abraham Lincoln, honoring his 100th birthday. The coin's design is iconic. Victor David Brenner's dignified profile of Lincoln on the obverse, paired with the wheat stalks on the reverse symbolizing growth, prosperity, and the heartland of America's farming roots. Now, 1946 was a particularly noteworthy year for the United States. Emerging from the shadows of World War II, the nation was shifting gears toward peace and rebuilding. The coins minted during this time are more than just currency, they are tangible links to a pivotal moment in history, a symbol of hope, resilience, and renewal. The 1946 Lincoln Wheat penny was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, which produced coins without a mint mark; Denver, which bears the D mint mark; and San Francisco, marked with an S. The distribution among these mints affects both the rarity and desirability of the pennies today. What makes the 1946 Lincoln Wheat penny so compelling for collectors, especially those with the Denver or San Francisco mint marks? First, consider the post-war economic climate. Although the country had returned to peacetime production, the mint was still adjusting its operations, and subtle differences in metal composition and minting techniques can be found when examining pennies from this year. Additionally, coins minted during this period sometimes feature interesting anomalies and minting errors. Variations such as double dies, where the date or lettering appears doubled, make some examples rare and highly prized. Others have unique tonal qualities or slight differences in the wheat stalk design that intrigue collectors who hunt for these nuances. Mint marks are critical in the coin collecting world. The Denver D and San Francisco S pennies from 1946 are particularly sought after because their production numbers were smaller compared to Philadelphia's, and because fewer specimens from these mints have survived in pristine condition. Condition plays a massive role in the value of any coin, and the 1946 Lincoln Wheat penny is no different. Given that these pennies were in circulation for decades, most bear the marks of heavy use, scratches, discoloration, and worn details. However, the rare specimens that remain in mint or near mint condition, with sharp details, smooth surfaces, and original luster, are the true gems of the series. Collectors prize these coins not just for their monetary worth but also because they are physical reminders of a nation's post-war transition, a coin that passed through many hands during a time of great change. So, how much could you expect to get for a 1946 Lincoln Wheat penny with a mint mark in exceptional condition? The number might surprise you. In pristine condition, a 1946 Lincoln Wheat penny with a Denver or San Francisco mint mark can be valued as high as $76,000. $76,000 for a humble penny, proof that rarity, condition, and history combine to create incredible value in the numismatic world. This coin is a perfect example of how even the smallest, most everyday objects can hold profound stories and remarkable worth. If you ever stumble upon a 1946 Lincoln Wheat penny, especially with a mint mark, don't just toss it aside. Examine it carefully. You might be holding a priceless piece of American heritage. Thank you for joining me today for this in-depth exploration of the 1946 Lincoln Wheat penny. If you enjoyed this journey through history and numismatics, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest discoveries. Until next time, keep your collections growing, keep your curiosity alive, and happy treasure hunting.